Hello, everybody.
Memorial Day weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Say some prayers out there for the fallen.
Rose Blue, if you want your question answered, put it in bold unless Scott caught it, because I didn't.
If you can capture that again, I didn't see it, hon.
And
yeah. Will the Senate reject that fat, ugly bill?
what Sean calls the big, beautiful bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. These clowns passed it in the House. They really don't care.
They really don't. When they see a guy winning overwhelmingly in a district where Trump had been 55%, and they see a guy running in there. And now they're, of course, in Texas, we have an open congressional seat. The guy died months ago. Our governor won't order a special election because they know there'll be another Democrat in Congress. And I can't believe,
I mean, they have to do it in certain time, but he can push it back as far as possible, right?
Well, it's in court now, and it should have been done by now. I mean, you're not living up to the guidelines.
Really? It's been sued to make them order it? Oh, my Lord.
Well, I live in a retarded state. I told you. They finally figured out they pissed off all the parents who have kids in public schools. So the state went into its sludge fund. Now, this is just its excess funds, guys. And I know if you live in a smaller state, this is going to seem like an overwhelming number. But they just passed a bill that's $8.6 billion. That's with a B, $1 billion to go to public schools to help. And the reason they did it was because a month ago, they got their butt handed to them in the school board elections. There's a school board north of me that had to be one of the reddest places in the whole world. The entire school board is blue now. We're going to talk about Linda sent this question to me during my grids show, and I pulled it out because I explained to her that wasn't the place. But
okay.
Oh God, yes, girl, you're going to be fine. It's going to be a little rough, but
yeah, I kind of thought of everybody as a whole, not just Linda.
Not just Linda, but this is, what did you get?
So I did my throw spread. Okay. So I get the Three of Swords to start out. This is past position. So there's kind of like there's conflicts going on. And the Moon back deals. Going out of administration, and King of Swords. So the heartbreak is currently working out with the court. That's what I think is going on in my past position. In the current, Nine of Cups. So I think we're winning. You know, the people are winning in a sense. The control of the money with the King of Pentacles and the Three of Wands is like, so we're seeing this big picture. So I think the energy of moving forward, we're seeing the big picture. I mean, not this administration, not the Republicans, but the energy is the big picture. But moving forward, I have the King of Cups. So there's diplomacy, strength, and balance, the Star, positive changes, and Eight of Cups. So moving forward, this bad energy is going to be moving out throughout 2025. In the end, we are going to take a hit with the Tower. There's going to be an unexpected crisis, so I think that's what we're already kind of seeing. The tariffs are starting to hit. Eight of Pentacles, we're going to have to fork up a little dough.
You're not going to want a $4,000 cell phone?
No.
Because it's
But we have a King and Queen Wands coming in the end. We have leadership. We have ambition. We have good assistance. So it feels like towards the end of the year, we're going to be okay. We're going to have to go through some problems, but there's a shift in leadership here. Something happens that, we're going to hit a breaking point at some point. Maybe it's next month, maybe it's June, July. It's going to get hard, but then we have a king and queen coming in, different leadership that changes things around. So I think we're going to be okay at the end of the year.
Okay.
The summer may be rough.
What I got is, would your family be okay? I'm just asking families in general. Yeah, it's going to be terrifying, but this to me means that the guardrails are holding, and it's just for us to look for the sunny side, to hold on to the good news. This is the Five of Swords reversed, which means that the stealing that's been going on is going to stop. People are going to be able to get back together towards the end of the year. And then it's going to be a rough balancing act to get things pulled back together. Because, just think about it. If you just tear everything up and, they can't pull all these people back together that they need. But I think, Linda, I really have a good feeling for your family. You'll be okay together. And like Scott and I have said all along, don't focus on the negative. I mean, be aware it's going on.
Yeah. So yeah, I kind of seen there's 5, 6, 7 senators publicly. Rand Paul's a no right now. So there's.
What did they do? Take his passport away so he can't go back to Russia? I mean, why is Rand being on our side?
I know. He's kind of being, who are you? Ian said there's 3.4 million Russians who live in the U.S.
Russians that live in America do not want to help Russia in Russia. If they left their homeland, it's different, I think. Good
morning, and troll slayers. Yay.
Yes, slay them trolls.
Good morning, Linda. Kevin, howdy doody. Okay, I didn't hear anything about this. Ruskies fleeing Moscow over the dozen plane last night.
I will look it up on the phone. You look it up with the cards, okay? I did look for big news items, but because my internet is slower than hell, and I don't know why, it shouldn't be because Susie still has all of her connections, but
they took their families as well, Ian said. Wow. But the Russians fleeing and families. Amazing they got out. Obviously that's a worry for the family or something. I wonder if
drone attacks paralyzed airports in Moscow. That was 3 days ago. 1 day ago. New opportunity for a strike. Russia is helpless in defending its capital. Apparently, people have figured out that they're not. Most of the major news is them fleeing, not within their own country. Oh. Yeah,
breaking news, Ukraine was droning the hell out of Moscow.
NATO jets scrambled over to ground Putin's forces. That's what happened.
Rose posted at 3 a.m., reported on the Enforcer channel last night. Breaking news, Ukraine was droning the heck out of Moscow.
Yeah, and it's relentless. They're not stopping. Their airport doesn't function right now.
Wow. So, yeah, I mean, I get my Duchess, Ace of Cups, and Page of Wands. So it feels like they were worried about, they heard news about their security could be compromised. 6 of Swords, fleeing like captured because of news.
Mm-hmm.
The Six of Swords is getting to become a better place. Eight of Swords is being imprisoned, restricted, pensions. And then the Eight of Wands is moving, getting out of Dodge fast. In the end, there's some worry about the Kremlin.
Mm-hmm.
So I got the Hierophant, so it'd be Moscow, Kremlin. Wheel of Fortune has changed, something come to a head. And then the Three of Coins, working on ideas or something. So yeah, there's just a real big worry about their security.
Yeah, what I saw is people are deciding you got to decide for yourself. You're in independent thinking now, and that they need to go to some place that's safe, and that Moscow's not going to hold to protect them if she's the Queen City. And they're understanding that the defense, they don't have any defenses. They've used up all our armaments. And what I see is people splitting, leaving, going everywhere. Nothing you want more than your entire population on the road walking somewhere.
I follow a few people that on Twitter that report on what's going on in
Mm-hmm.
Ukraine and whatnot. Like the other day, Ukraine or Russia must have used like all of their drones. They hit multiple cities.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I don't remember the number, but it was a lot. It was like they're hitting there, hitting here. It must have been retaliation. Ukraine was like, we're going straight for Moscow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Everybody notices what's happening in Moscow.
Yeah, and Lavrov just got a big award. Lifetime service and something. I don't know. Lavrov said Russ would do documents to end the war after prisoner exchange was done. No, Lavrov said prisoner exchange. There was some prisoner exchange I seen, like 100 or so or something. Okay. Will the war end after prisoner exchange? I think that's what we're doing.
Okay.
Rose said Ukraine blew up another ammo dump. Yay!
Yay.
Hit them where it hurts.
Mm-hmm. So that's what they're going to use to come back and get Ukraine. So it makes sense.
Okay, Valerie. Do you want to look at the stock market, financials? Worry about Japan selling our bonds. Okay. After a prisoner exchange, will there be a ceasefire ending?
They're trying to do it, but it involves money, and they won't do it without money. It's not just the people being exchanged. And they don't have the strength to do it, to push it that way. So, yeah, Lavrov wants out. Russia just wants him. It's what to be done. You know, the war that was going to be over in 2 weeks.
Right. 3 days.
3 days. Well,
okay.
But then the tanks broke down on the road, so then it became 2 weeks.
I do have something on money or balance.
Yeah, there's money. There's some kind of money. Russian wants to know, how are we going to get paid back?
Them get paid back.
Yes.
Right.
They're going to get some way to get themselves even, and nobody wants to do that because they know what they're going to do is buy weapons.
Yeah, well, they're going broke. They want to end it with security, which ain't going to happen. So I got military action, spy into camp now up and up with the Page of Swords, and then financial success. So I think any deal is going to be financially successful for them. What they want.
That's the only way they'll do it. And so
and still at a crossroads, looking for help. And then the Five of Cups, a ton of loss. So there's waiting yet.
It's not a done deal. It's the Russians
Right.
are saying this is what we're doing, but it's not based on anything anybody else was bothered to be part of the conversation with.
My outcome card's a Six of Cups.
Mm-hmm.
It could be naive, holding on to the past. What does that mean? I think it more feels like we can't trust you.
Mm-hmm.
You've done it before.
Mm-hmm.
About getting to trust. And then Queen of Coins. That could be resources. That could be wanting to steal money or something in that point. But then the Queen of Cups is that mother tender energy. So until it's a compassionate settlement, nothing's going to happen.
Right.
So I think that's why Ukraine's hitting back. You aren't stopping. We're going to go for the guts. We're going to go for the heart of your center.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see this happening with this a prisoner exchange. The Kremlin's going to have to fold completely in order to end this.
Yeah.
I don't see Ukraine giving up.
No. I'm a little worried about them sitting all of their things along the border of Finland, but
yeah, the clown was speaking at West Point, and he's talking about trophy wives. It was just a cognitive failure all the way around. Oh, there was this guy, a good guy. He had a trophy wife. She didn't really like him, but it worked. And then they lost that trophy wife, but then he got another trophy wife.
You can listen to that. I can't even listen to 15 seconds of that crap. And my head's, we know he's loony. And until I can have a flash from heaven and my guides, Frank and Addie, tell me how to somehow disrupt Fox News completely, because they're going to say it was a brilliant speech.
Yeah. No, I don't listen to his voice. Well,
you read it?
Okay. Yeah, I read it. So this guy on Twitter posts what he's the video, but then he writes out what he says prior. So I read what he's I cannot stand it. Libby posted a picture. They all look miserable. Yeah, thank God. Yeah, then he said, I brought the military back. None of you wanted to be in the service and join until I came back.
That's ridiculous. They all joined when Biden was president.
Right.
Okay.
Oops. Love and light, Hazel.
Thank you, Hazel.
Okay.
Yes, Linda, we already read your question, and you're going to be fine.
I think this, yeah, we're sensing like the summer is going to be rough, Linda. But by the time the fall comes and end of the year, it feels like things starting to turn around. Because once you crash an economy, it takes a while to come back. Well, they're hiding it through transcripts. It's against the Presidential Record Act, but they're not posting transcripts on like most people don't go to the, White House, website and read the transcripts of anything, but they aren't posting them anymore because they're supposed to post transcripts of everything he says and whatnot. They aren't doing it.
Well, they were supposed to say everybody who comes and goes from the White House. They don't do that either.
and like back in the first administration with Dr. Ronnie, who was running the pill organization up there. 1 out of 6 Ruskies are going bankrupt. And that's what Felon 47 wants to do too.
Yep.
He wants to bankrupt us. They showed a huge mushroom cloud a mile over the air. Huge ammo storage. One up in Moscow or near.
Well, if I saw a nuclear bomb and I lived near Moscow, I'd be fleeing the other direction too. And I don't run. I hobble.
Okay. I'm caught up.
I don't see Japan doing that. I did a reading on it. It said no, they wouldn't do it. That they'll be a good steward because they know it would ruin the world economy. I show them being drawn emotionally to doing it, but they're just not. It's not what's in their best interest. And Japan's going to try to do whatever it can to walk away from the conflict because it doesn't want the world turned upside down. So I don't see Japan doing that.
Wow, you were already ready. I thought I was going to do that one, huh?
You can do that one.
No, you already had it ready.
Oh, yeah, because I was sitting here while we were talking about other stuff that we'd already talked about.
And you knew I was going to post that next, huh?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the deal, right?
I'm supposed to know which one you already read on?
Mm-hmm. Scott and I are good. We're better than we look. I tell you.
Let's hope, right? Ooh, I thought of the death card. We got offers. We got prosperity anxieties. But in the end, they don't want any collapse.
That's right.
So, yeah, they want 6 of Swords. King of Wands is doing things intelligently. 9 of Cups is having wishes fulfilled. But they're willing to place some judgment on what's going on. You know, whether it's threats or just pulling out a little. But yeah, they don't want any collapse.
There's 100 ways they can hurt us without destroying the world's economy.
Yeah. I don't see any big bad things happening here, but they will taunt in a sense. Oh, we'll sell a little bit just to, show you what we're made of kind of thing. They're not willing to completely collapse the financial system worldwide by a major sell-off. Just putting out that little feeler. You really want to go down this route?
Mm-hmm.
Because if they sell, that'll hurt other markets and other, investments and whatnot too. So I don't see a complete. Okay. Yeah. When's that executive order coming out?
The thing that Biden left behind that was supposed to set all this up for us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to use my housewife's tarot. Seems appropriate.
I think I've mentioned it before, but the 2020 election interference executive order report came out in June of 2021.
Mm-hmm.
But he fired a bunch of people at cybersecurity, so maybe it got delayed.
Well, there's a whole other independent group that's working in Pennsylvania that's running all the same stuff. So trust me. It's going to be by set up by the end of this month, and it's going to be into June when we're going to hear really all the final.
Ooh.
It's about. I've got that they're still working on it. They're still clearing things. This is a 5 of Wands. And they're still fighting among themselves about what they should say. They should just say, look, this is what happened. And somehow or another, this is the 6 of Pentacles. And it's upside down. And somehow or another, people are still effing around playing games. Well, this might hurt my industry more than that. So I don't. All of the people who have any, and remember, I have a son who works in this world. All the people who have any grounding in working in elections, they just need to back off and let them say what happened, because a lot of what they're going to find out was mistakes. Democrats should have been aware were going on and didn't follow through on. And I don't have that from Sean. I just have that from having run political campaigns. There's a lot of Democrats, and you see it with the David Hogg stuff too. There's old power brokers that don't want to let go of their power either. And they're in the way as much as Trump's people. They don't want to admit how wrong they were. And they were wrong. What you got, Scott?
I got the truth will come out with Ace of Swords. Queen of Wands working through it, but I got the 8 of Coins, so it's kind of like they're still working on it. And she mentions whistleblower, but I do hate the Page of Wands.
Well, I have a magician who has all the answers, but they're not.
I remember when we talked about that, maybe like January or something.
Yeah,
I got the magician, meaning they're trying to get help or try to figure out what's going on with this election, like looking at machines or whatever the deal is. But I get they're doing God's work. They're working together with the community card and then my angelic card. In the end, I got Knight of Cups. That's movement of it coming out, but I do have some restrictions by the government. So I don't know if the administration is trying to block it from coming out, meaning that's why they may need a whistleblower or something. I have the evidence coming, but it's restricted by the government. Bottom of the deck, I have transition, so it's kind of some dark times coming ahead. So I'm not sure.
Oh, I just asked a question this way. What's wrong with the Democrats? Why aren't they pushing for this to get together? It's very interesting reading. Do you want to read it that way, or you want me to let me go?
You go for it.
Okay. Like I said, the old power brokers are sitting there saying, well, we all kind of engage at some of this. But then the next card is the devil. It's the evilness that's kind of behind all electioneering. And the only people who are going to bring it out is the young kids with their sharp tongues and their sharp knives, and they're going to cut it up. And it's going to come from the high priestess. And it's going to take us back to where we should have been. The problem is, you guys realize that when you look at a national election, you're looking at 50 plus the territories. All of them have their own rules. And that's what the Constitution says has to happen. So they have to go through every single one of them. And there are a few power brokers at the back of the party that really want to push things. I remember when Obama won and beat Hillary, which the main part of the party was not at all in favor of. Obama created his own party to run. And So they had the Great Reconciliation Tour. And I remember Dick Durbin and people that were supporting Hillary and people that were supporting Obama. I remember doing a huge meeting in Dallas where Dick Durbin and a bunch of other people spoke, and they all talked about how important it was for us to all come together and work on this when Obama won. And the people who'd come out of Washington that were used to the old Democratic Party, they'd walk into a place where we were, and we were Obama people. And we said, look, this is how we're going to run the lines. This is what we're going to do. And this other guy goes, well, I'm not sure. And then these two women who had been with the Senate, the DSCC, the Senatorial Campaign Committee, the one woman said, you guys worked with Obama? You worked with him down here? You got more houses walked and for Democrats than we've ever seen before? We're going to go with whatever your plan is. Because they knew we were breaking all the molds. And it didn't take long for the other side to try and creep in and do it the way they've always done it and do it with their friends. And, you know, one guy, I was so pissed at him. He was a congressman. And he basically said, well, you're trusting all these people. You're just training now to go door to door. They're not good law. They haven't been here for 20 years being Democrats. I said, no, they haven't been here for 20 years being Democrats because people like you. And he looked at me and I said, they don't trust you. And that's what we have to get past in a lot of states. And I mean, this is probably why I never got hired to run major campaigns again. But it's really true that there's a lot of the old guard that they want to do it the way they used to do it. They want to rely on what they used to have, and they don't have it anymore. We had people that showed up because Obama Dallas was separate from the Democratic Party. It was a safe place to come, and we had so many Republicans that were sick of the Republican Party, but they couldn't quite bring themselves to walk into a Democratic office, which I think is a little screw loose in their head. But anyway, but we had a place for them to come. We called them Obamakins because they were people who were supporting Obama. And what we need to get back to is finding a candidate that everybody can get behind, races that people can get behind. Texas just did it. We just elected a 35-year-old lawyer to run the party. And he's completely new. Sean saw him Tuesday night and Sean's posted some things on his CLSB politics. If you want to go over and support my son, go over there and click on it. But he videoed the guy, and he asked him, can I use that in my show? And the guy said, sure. I'm not afraid for anybody to hear anything I'm saying in this meeting anywhere. And that's the kind of open honesty we need. I'm off my soapbox now, Scott.
That's fine. I like your stories.
Yeah, your mom's right. The truth is coming. And the truth is hard truth, not just about Republicans, but it's also hard truth about Democrats who did nothing when they could have done something.
Okay. What will the Senate do with this big ugly bill?
Okay. You mean the big bag of bullshit that's going up to them?
Yeah. I guess there's like amendments in there to end a judge from supposedly stop a judge from making national POCs or whatever, or TROs, restraining orders.
That's how our judicial system's set up, guys. Sorry about that.
There's little poison pills all over in it. Okay, what's the Senate gonna do? What's the Senate gonna do? Yeah, something about contempt.
It's going to reject it.
Stopping contempt.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of information flying around. They're working on it right now, but it's going to be rejected because once again, the face of the power broker, the King of Pentacles, they don't like it. Big business doesn't like what's in this, and they know what the cost is going to be if they do this. And they also know that if it goes through, there's not going to be a Republican who's going to be electable anywhere in this country. And then once it's done, they're going to let it sit there. But we still need a budget. So what are they going to do? And on the bottom of my deck is 5 Pentacles.
Well, is that good or bad? Because that's a bad.
Well, it means that's what I said. You have to have a budget of some kind. So if we don't have one, then we get into that government closing down crap. Which at this point, I'm sure there's a lot of people in America that would say, close them down as long as it freezes ice. And they can't do anything.
So within the Republican Party, they're at a crossroads to find balance with justice and the Knight of Cups. This is the Knight riding in for positive, loving energy. So then I get a couple nines, 9 of Wands, 9 of Swords.
Almost ended.
And then the Queen of Pentacles. How do we change this money? There's fears and frustrations within, undecided. Moving forward, King of Swords, the Hierophant, and 8 of Cups. They're going to walk away. They're going to walk away from the big, beautiful bill. There's too many issues. They're not willing, as a whole, to destroy the country. The outcome is 2 of Wands, movement and changes, leaving 1 wand behind. 4 of Swords, rest, taking time. King of Pentacles, you got that too, the big bad money in it. And then the 8 of Wands, the speedy energy. So there's delays. So they're not going to just jump on this. It feels like a carve out of many different things before. So as is, I don't see the Senate passing this.
Nope.
On the bottom of the deck, I have the 9 of Cups, wishes fulfilled.
Good.
So I don't think there's enough of them willing to go down with the ship and lose any chance of re-election. I didn't read it all, of course, but some reporters were saying that some of this stuff is delayed, like after 2029 it starts or something. I don't know, but someone was saying that, well, they're going to do it that way, so it makes it look like a Democrat did it, and just start the cycle over again.
They have no regard for the truth. They're like always saying, oh, we did this and it's something Biden did.
Right.
You know, so. Oh, I'm not Linda. I'm not going to worry about his kids. They're all going to go live in Saudi Arabia and think that's fine.
I just recall what I've gotten years ago. It seemed like, to me, it felt like Don Jr. is in big trouble. He needs to go in rehab or something. It kind of felt like Eric would scale down the business, that he would take over. Possibly with Ivanka too, but Don Jr. doesn't seem to be like he's really involved, or
Don Jr. doesn't seem like he's on this planet with the rest of us. Thank you.
Yeah. It always feels like Jared's on the verge of going to prison too. I don't know why, but
Pollywog? Yeah.
he
If
doesn't.
I were Jared, I don't know where Jared's going to go because he's done nothing with the Saudi money. And I realize that to them, what they gave him was sort of chump change. But at some point, they're going to come looking for what did we get for this. So.
Calling from inside. Got a huge intuitive hit that Pope Leo is a hybrid. Not that he's working with ETs, yet he is one. Makes sense given the ET disclosure coming up in a few years. Yeah, what is Pope Leo's DNA makeup? No. I'm getting his past life. He was.
Mm-hmm.
He was an extraterrestrial. He came down to change the better for the religious sect of the world to be a better, try to bring out better humans. Mm-hmm. I don't sense he is now. No, but he's got this mission in this life to try to lead with empathy and love and not the cruelty that religion has brought out.
So he has the conscious memory of being a hybrid, but he is not.
Yeah, something like that. Yes. I don't sense now he is. I'll just grab a couple of my ET cards.
Yes.
See what it says for Pope Leo.
Yeah, I get he's not a hybrid now. Not in this life. He's all human genes.
I think he was an Acturian. Activating his intuition from other life.
Mm-hmm.
Reflecting of the soul. Trying to bring the masses in to forgive. Using his mind and body and soul to help heal people. He could have, his vibration could probably heal people. And he's going to take charge. So, yeah, I think he was an Acturian in another life.
Mm-hmm.
And they are the intuitive ones, the healers, the explorers. Okay. Okay, we did that. Any people leaving? No, I'm not sure about. You said there was people that left or fired.
Yeah, a bunch of people got doged out one way or another.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yes. Everywhere there has been. But DHS is kind of important. I think what's her face fired people for what do you call
looking
it?
at her sideways. Maybe they love their dogs.
They didn't like her.
Mm-hmm.
Not Christy, no. Oh, I was thinking not Christy. Ron Intelligence Group. I was thinking the wrong person. This is Christy Noam's thing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. This feels like they're gonna talk. She's as corrupt as they come. Christy.
Oh, are they ever? Don't sing their little hearts out. And the card that fell out of my deck, and I have a deck that cards don't fall out of easily, it's going to be a male or a really strong female energy. That's the Prince of Cups. They took stuff with them. They carried stuff off with them that proved their point. They're waiting for the right set of circumstances to be handed to them. And they're going to come out and be the Page of Cups and tell the truth, even about the stinky fish that's in the cup. And I don't think we're not going to hear these hearings till after summer. And it's not really going to get everybody as fired up as they think it will. But They are going to be there and they are going to be witnessing. And they did carry out some powerful stuff. What you got, Scott?
I'm commenting back.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Everyone keeps talking.
Thank you, Carrie Dye.
Yeah, there's a little bit of waiting about them coming out, but because they're worried about judgment upon them. So we've got the Hangman, but Ace of Pentacles would bring out that prosperity. I think there's a little delusion with what's going on with Christie. They may not have everything they need, but I think those Senate hearings got the goods on them. Her brought out what corruptness is going on. But I have more of a king. Did you say male or female talking, or
the lead person's going to be? It's either going to be. I couldn't get male or female. I just got as a very strong person that has a lot of insight. It showed up as the Knight of Cups.
Yeah, I have. Oh, Knight of Cups. Okay. I got a King of Wands next to that. My end outcome, sadness, loss with the Five of Cups. Three of Pentacles, I think they're going to bring information. They have what they need to show. Seven of Pentacles, he feels like he got to put things together. And the Knight of Swords, it's going to come in hard against Miss Christie. It's that roaring energy of a knight. Someone taking charge of the situation. Bottom of deck, Six of Wands will have a victory. So yeah, Chrissy's not gonna. I mean, the stuff she's done already, she's prosecutable. A lot of these people are prosecutable.
Well, when she says, "Oh, we can just lift habeas corpus," that's because she doesn't know what it is. I mean, and yeah, Lincoln did it during the war, and he caught all kinds of flack over it. So, matter of fact, it's one of those things that he did during the Civil War that people sort of ignore.
The misuse of funds, everything. We did that. We did that. We did that. Oh, we took care of quite a few there. Let's see if we get a timing. Kristen's wondering about when we can get rid of this orange cockroach. This year, next year, 2029.
Well, do you want to pick a question so we can focus on it? By the end of this year?
Yeah. Let's go 2025. What deck are calling me?
I'm doing bunnies.
There's a
I
deck.
can't do serious decks anymore.
There was a deck calling me. I haven't used this one in a while. Okay. Will there be justice for the orange cockroach in 2020 by the end of 2025? I definitely feel yes. Those masked ICE officers, they're those white supremacist group.
Oh dear, Scott. My bunnies my bunnies are giving us a very nice answer.
Oh, good. I'm still shuffling. If you want to roll. I'm
Okay.
still shuffling.
Okay. I see a lot of it's right now. He's still bouncing, trying to use his power. But this Knight of Swords keeps running in. Whenever I talk about him going away, I do see the Knight of Swords showing up and taking him out of here. And I think this could be illness or death for him. And it ends all the fighting without him there to cheerlead the fighting and to be their lead. But what's going to happen, what's going to discourage a lot of us, is this is when things are going to slow down. And so now where do we go from here? Because he has been so much the center of what it is. And this was the card on the bottom of the deck, Scott.
Death?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. Past position of the cockroach. Ace of Pentacles. Dealing with a lot of money. He's accumulating the money while he's destroying the government's money with the Five of Pentacles.
Mm-hmm.
So it just showed me his grift. He's been grifting and making us less safe and less secure. Current energy, Knight of Wands, Four of Wands, and the Moon. That's telling me there's energy that is working from within to disrupt him. He's crazy with the moon, but it feels like there's universal energies coming in that are making him worse. You know what I mean? That's what I sense with that. Okay. Then I have High Priestess.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times that's soul contracts, that's hidden guidance, powerful angels working. Three of Cups, we got a celebration. And then we have Eight of Pentacles. A lot of times that can be working on the body, some health issues, working on something. So celebrating a life contract coming together, and then there's problems. End result. Knight of Pentacles. Hermit, Three of Swords, and Eight of Swords. Stability will fall within his health, and he'll be locked up. So yeah, I'm getting a health issue coming very shortly this year. The Hermit is being within self. The Three of Swords is a heart issue. There's pain and suffering. And then Eight of Swords is being trapped and locked up within your own mind. So the Knight of Pentacles is a slow mover, right? So we're not seeing it like coming now. When is this? When are we here? I always been getting lately, something starts moving quickly in about a month. Something happens within a month that starts rolling downhill. God, it sure gives me like this summer energy.
Oh, yeah.
Eight of Swords would be August. Three of Swords is 3 months. The Hermit card is number 9, which is September. So we're in April. No, we're May. May. I'm really sensing 8. August, September. August, September really feels like 8 of Pentacles is in August. I think it's coming this year, according to this.
Yeah, that's kind of what I felt.
But I think our angels are making it more crazy.
Well, our own self-will, if I want it the way I want it and I want it now, just let it flow and don't get caught up in all that stuff, and you'll be much less damage.
But yeah, don't wish ill will. Just put out the universe. We want balance, justice to happen for all of us. You know, we want balance in our system. We want the angels to do it the way it's supposed to be. An assassination, how it's supposed to work out for his soul contract. Yeah, I mean, most of the times we read is like we get through this chaos and it's like the end of the year, things get more to the normal. So hopefully that continues.
Biden is going to outlive Trump.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, we looked at that one.
If he wants to fight. If he doesn't want to fight, then he can just let go and go right now.
I bet you there are going to be so many people happy when he's gone, or even hospitalized in a coma or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And finally say, God, we don't have to kiss his butt.
And what are they going to put up for their front man to talk on Fox News? JD Vance?
True. They're going to have to come up with a whole new territory of talking points.
Oh, the military parade.
3 weeks. Is he going to have his big, beautiful $45 million parade?
You know, when we're sucking the money, when we're sucking up all these departments because they waste money, we're going to spend $45 million driving tanks down Washington streets so that they have to be completely rebuilt.
Just go back to this quick. Deb Z, yes, we read on it. We see changes being made.
Yes.
We don't see it being passed as is. Thank you. Okay.
So what are we asking if the parade's going to happen?
Is the $45 million parade going to happen?
Yeah, unfortunately.
No. No, bad cards.
Bad cards. Well, they have the strength right now to push it through. And there's the people in the background saying, well, do it because it's going to look good. It's really bad if we don't. There's a whole lot of people who don't want to do it, and they're really fighting it. But in the end, they're going to work out a way to do it, and it's going to be every bit as disastrous as everyone thought it would be. So it's a good moral lesson. But where are you going to be on the 14th? Are you going to be out protesting somewhere?
I'm not sure.
It's a Saturday.
The week after is my
You're going to be in the wedding.
the wedding to be at. So I don't know what the weekend before is. Okay. Past possession, the planning has been done, trying to get the funding in. Currently, there is a bunch of opposition. So I got the government, how to pay for it with a page of coins, but then I have 8 of swords. There's something about money. They're worried about the money or restricted from where to pull it from, or something like that. On the bottom of the deck, though, let's see, is it death or devil? I think it's the devil. It's the greed. The greed gluttony of what he wants to do. God. Right now, it looks like it's going to go through one form or another.
Yeah, I flashed on maybe there'd be a big storm or some natural occurrence that would stop it, but it didn't come out right.
My end cards are Queen of Wands. Kind of like a strategic planning. Page of Wands. A new idea. You know, it is the whistleblower, the hearing things, but it could be a new idea too. And then the Ace of Cups. So those 3 cards, one way or another, there's going to be a parade. It's kind of saying like we need to scale it down because of the money involved and the grandiosity. So maybe he doesn't get all the tanks, kind of thing. Right now it's something. There are people worried about the greed of the devil here of what spending all that money. I know. Where does that come out of a fund when a president wants to go to like the Super Bowl and spend $20 million to do it?
They juggle the books, but there's only so much book juggling they can do. And Christy Gnome's vacuuming it up pretty fast.
Miss Christie's run out of money. Okay.
Okay.
Nope. Kathy D's got a graduation the 14th. College grad.
Good.
Yeah, it won't be a North Korea parade. It'll be disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's going to be that full blown. I mean, they're going to ruin the streets and everything. I don't. There's something. I think it's scaled down. Yeah, it's a 250 year of birthday of something, the army or military or something. Okay. Carrie's going to party for a year when the demon's gone.
No, you're not. You're going to buckle down and figure out where we need to start healing.
You drink milk?
No, I don't drink milk. Milk's got
Milk hangover for a year?
Mhm.
Okay. News. 2 months after tornado demolished Tylertown, Mississippi. And according to her, they haven't got the money they needed.
Mhm.
Every money's been delayed or not fully funded, what I've seen for other places.
Mm-hmm. Well, they don't have the staff that knows how to deal with it. They fired them all.
Let's see. Tylertown, Mississippi. Quick Google. 2 months after tornado slammed the small town. Facebook. Wow. Bad pictures.
It's going to be slow going. My biggest card in this is the Ace of Wands upside down. But the people felt like, yeah, we've lived with these risks for so long. We're going to come out of it okay. And now they're figuring out the truth. Very depressing, the moon. But there's someone in Mississippi who's raising a stink about it. So
yeah, according to the AI thing that popped up, it says it hasn't been funded yet. Tylertown. Other places, it's taken 2 months or more of begging before he finally would approve something. President approves disaster declaration, Mississippi. Unless the AI ain't caught up yet, it says it hasn't been approved yet. I don't know. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was disastrous. That's coming out with that tower. Then we have the Knight of Wands, which would be money to help. Five of Swords, the conflicts, and then the intelligence of not doing it. In the end, I get Queen of Cups, Six of Swords, and Queen of Swords. So the help will be coming eventually. On today? 5/23/25, Mississippi and Missouri were given aid.
Okay, that's yesterday.
So, I mean, it says, yeah, aid's coming. But yeah, true, Christina. Approving doesn't mean much.
Mm-hmm. When you don't have the staff that can help the people figure out what to do with it, or the people can figure out how to get them housed and taken care of.
Like in North Carolina, Governor Steele still requesting more help from Helene.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think all of it or something wasn't approved yet either. North Carolina is still struggling from last year's hurricane, and we're about ready to hit hurricane season again.
Mm-hmm. And it's not like we don't have a few tornadoes to worry about.
And that's already happened a few places.
Let me tell people, if you see a tornado or you know a tornado's coming, you hear that train sound, you get to the most secure place in your house that you can imagine. I saw a short where these people were leaning out their patio door. They could see the mother 2 blocks away from them. And I'm like, where did you people grow up?
I guess they want to go out seeing the big one.
No, Bermuda shaman, no, it will not convince them. Yeah, they know he's lost it. They're just trying to figure out how can we get around it.
Someone said something about if you look at the video, you can see their faces kind of like, wow.
Well, did you see the film of all the students walking out of the graduation at the University of wherever it is that Kristi Noem comes from? They were all walking. I mean, they walked out while she was up while they were announcing her, they're all going by. We're out of here.
Good.
Some stayed, but most left.
Let's toss some cards on the energy of the thoughts of the military as a whole.
Okay.
Because I know there's a whole heck of a lot of Trumpers that are in the brainwashed realm, especially a lot of younger ones and retired. But I mean the current service members. See what the energy is around the current service members.
Okay.
About their dear leader.
I go by a friend of mine who was a spy. He worked at the Pentagon eventually. Master Commander who was a spy, and I'll talk to him about once every 2 months about what's going on. He's moving to a completely different state, and he's in a blue state, but he's Jewish, and he's moving to a place where he's going to feel safer. He's thinking about it.
I think they're waking up. There's things within the military that they didn't like and see. Mm-hmm. It could be funding. It could be a loss of stable leadership. Because they got the 5 of Pentacles, the Fool.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like seeing some things that like Fool, and then the Sun. So some things are hitting home within them.
Yes.
Within the structure that, firing leadership, whatever it is. I remember there was a report that I seen that the leadership is actually speaking out. Mm-hmm. Younger troops is speaking out. Especially like, when you fire transgender people when they've been good leadership,
mm-hmm.
for the military and whatnot. 6 of Swords is all moving from turbulence. 5 of Cups, a lot of regret. And Queen of Swords, seeing a new perspective. Attention to detail. So yeah, I think there is a shift.
Mm-hmm. Okay, where's the military? Weird. Okay, this is a strange deck. It's not one I've used much. It's called Wild Reflections. But it starts with the Five of Wands. I think there's some fighting inside the military of how to deal with this. So for the time being, they're going to all look like they're good soldiers, all getting along. But they're counting on the Wheel of Fortune on things changing and moving towards them. They're also working with those that work with counterparts that are outside the U.S. are working with them. And what I see them coming up to finally is reverse Two of Pentacles. They're going to turn on him. But I think right now, this is where they are. They're riding it out. They're going to see how it ends up. They're trying to find their allies to figure out what to do because they don't want to break their oath either. You know?
So Carrie asked, do we have tornadoes in Wisconsin? Yes, we do. A few weeks ago when Missouri got hit and Lincoln, Kentucky got hit, went through like Indiana places got hit, we got hit too. There's a town that got split. So there's like a half-mile strip where this tornado went through this town, destroyed a whole family farm. It kind of went through fields, but then hit homes. It's kind of weird. It's just like this one bulldoze track. Well, it weaved through. Yeah, that was like northwest of Milwaukee. That town was really devastated.
Yeah.
Back in 1984, a town about 40 minutes from me, Barneveld, Wisconsin. That town was leveled. That place was destroyed. We didn't play. It was like that year and the year after we didn't play high school baseball there. I think we played basketball because the school was still functional, but the rest of that town, it was like 3 years of rebuilding. But yeah, that town got destroyed. But 10 years ago, about 10 miles south, 2 farms got wiped out. It was like a touchdown and then lost.
Just took everything with it.
But yeah, we have tornadoes up here too. Mostly.
Apparently the storms are moving east and they're north of us because usually the ones that are really bad that have gone through Texas have all been north.
Yeah. There are military families that get snapped and help. Oxford Cat. When I was stationed at Fort Hood, 96, we had 3 tornadoes at the same time. That was scary. Yeah. Okay. Curiosity Nudge. Is it safe to relocate to Germany or Nordic countries this year or next year? Yeah, I feel no problem with Germany or Nordic. I think they're all standing together against this war. I feel pretty safe about them. I'm not being shown any issues. Let's see what the cards say. Oh, Jean said she heard meteorologists are talking about the shift.
Yeah, there is. It's a real shift. I'm watching the one that's going through today, and it's going to be north of us.
Okay, Knight of Cups. Good. 10 of Cups. Happy home. Three of Pentacles, working on Ace of Cups. Oh, no problem. No problems at all.
Mm-mm.
I don't see any problems at all. All these cups, love, whatever you want to do. The last three cards say something about don't do something you did in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe if you move somewhere and you weren't happy, don't repeat it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like investigate where you're going to go, you know, before you get too excited. Because if you move to the wrong place, some kind returning, you know, the past returning could cause some restrictions with Eight of Swords. But everything else is like, go for it.
Yeah, I got, you know, if you're doing it because of mood change, and be clear in your own mind while you're making the move. And that's also with the Knight of Wands. Don't move quickly. You know, do a consideration of it. But right now, it's got the High Priestess there, and there's a lot of things pushing people to try and make that decision. Most people who make that decision, you got the Six of Wands. You really can't tell. You know, it's really consider what it's like to give up the home that you've always had, unless you have some real reason you need to get the hell out of here. And then at the end, it's the world. It's when you make that decision, it's very final. My parents moved from Canada to here, and it's very weird to have people that live in two worlds. And that's, I mean, it didn't hurt them. But I think there's a lot of stuff my mother wasn't ready for when she moved down here that was different from Canada.
The Celtic Seer is correct. In the current environment, do not move anywhere near sea level.
Mm-hmm.
New Orleans, no. East Coast, West Coast, no.
Florida, Dallas is sinking.
Florida, no.
I said Dallas is sinking. We're not near an ocean. We're just sinking.
Oh no.
I mean,
yeah, I wouldn't go anywhere in the Middle East.
No.
I would feel safe anywhere in Europe. Maybe like southern Germany feels good, because that way you're close to everyone else, like France,
Bavaria, and France, and all this. Yeah.
I
wouldn't move to Italy, and I certainly wouldn't move where there's a volcano.
Yeah, but I for some reason I sense Sweden is having some financial problems. I'm feeling. So,
and also you need to talk to somebody about how friendly they are when you're not just a tourist, when you've moved there. It's a different kind of world.
Okay. Bibi Netanyahu. What is it?
See what's going to happen to Bibi.
Okay, what cards want him? Future of Israel and Bibi. How long before we get rid of Bibi? To make everything better for Gaza, Palestinians, Israel. In my mind's eye, I think it's a year yet. I'm feeling like the spring, next spring. Unfortunately, he's holding on to power. You've had curiosity. Bibi. 10 of Cups. He's safe for now. Magician. He's got people under his power. We got a weight with temperance. He's got financial backing. Shit. Until the courts can get around, I think we're stuck with him. Until the courts can make him go to, until the courts bring up that stuff again and make it, we're stuck with him. Then he loses. You know, either there's a new election called or something, or the Supreme Court there, whatever, makes him go in front for these trials or whatever. We're stuck with Bibi.
Yeah, he's won the parts of Israel he needs to hold his power together. And there was a chance to get rid of him.
And they voted him back in
Last year, and they didn't do it. And they see him as their strong man. And trust me, they're in the middle of a part of the world where everything's up for grabs.
So unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
What's up with the scientists and researchers that got kicked from Doge? They leaving? What's up? Okay. What's up, all these? You know, I'm assuming like NIH and CDC got fired and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
What's going to happen with them? Coins, cups. Wow. I feel like they've never left, kind of feeling.
No.
I mean, even though they're not in the organization,
Mm-hmm.
their heart is in what they do. I have no zero cards. You know, it's kind of like their heart's there. They're still doing what they needed to do, whether it's private or otherwise, but I feel like they'll come back at some point or something, because I have zero bad cards here.
Yeah, I see.
I laid like 10 or 12 just to see, and they're all good.
No, mine was, they had to leave. They took off. They weren't sure exactly where they were going to work. But things are going to appear. Situations are going to come up. Other people are going to come in and help them reestablish, because some of what they do is so necessary, and they're going to come in through different organizations. I've read for a couple people who've been riffed, and that's what I saw, was another group comes in behind and says, nope, we need this.
Yeah, my sense is like, if they were called back, they would come back. I mean, it's in their heart to heal people for science, technology.
What are karst areas of land?
Teresa, what are karst areas?
Parched areas of land?
Well, you mentioned you're sinking.
Oh, no, I was shocked when we showed up on the list of cities that are sinking. But they said it's because they've been pulling water out of the aquifers to do the fracking.
Oh, yeah, that could do it. Yeah.
So, and then they had to stop doing the fracking near the big cities because they were causing little earthquakes that were upsetting the big cities' high rises. So.
Ew.
What?
No, I'm sorry. Not about you. I was just reading.
There is, we've got Grand Saline, which is
Lots of
in East Texas. And that's where they had huge salt mines in the past. And people will just be sitting in their houses and their houses sink into nowhere. I mean, go away.
Why is this administration undermining scientific technology, vaccines, whatever it may be?
Why did the Catholic Church put and I'm blanking on his name, it starts with a G, lock him up when he talked about how the planets really moved? Because they can't deal with change. And in particular, a lot of what's going on with the administration is it's been driven by businesses that have felt that they've been restricted. And landform.
Karst is a landscape formed by dissolving bedrock. Features sinkholes, sink streams, and caves.
Yeah, that would be the aquifers. That would be empty. Galileo, thank you, everybody. Even those who can't spell it any better than I could remember it. But thank you. Galileo got locked away because he told the truth. Scientists are being taken away for this specific reason because Trump really hates it that those scientists didn't back him up when he was running COVID and let millions of people die. And then when he can discredit all the scientists, then he can say, well, a million of you didn't die. I tell him I have some friends who, it's get rid of the intelligentsia. That's why they burn books.
Yeah. It does feel like a revenge tour for 45.
Yeah. Why would he go after Anthony Fauci, who spent his whole life saving people's lives while Trump was spending his whole life ruining lives?
I mean, in his little pea brain, everything can be traced back to what he doesn't like.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't like the Green New Deal because of the windmills in Europe. You know, the reason why he brought
windmills cause cancer.
The reason why he brought up Alcatraz because it's in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Same with probably Hannibal Lecter. You get this pea vein thing, and like you said, Anthony Fauci tried to do the right thing, but he wanted people to inject disinfectant.
He wanted them to put UV bulbs up their butt. Thank you.
Yeah. Use a UV light to get rid of COVID. It's craziness. I think it affects our progress. Just cause chaos in the system. I really don't understand it completely, but like gutting the APA can allow corporations to pollute and make more money.
Mm-hmm.
But so I get the Chariot, 10 of Wands, and Ace of Swords, like with undermining. So any progress with the Chariot is putting stress and burdens on the truth and the new ideas, the new cures, the new saving the planet. And it just feels like a greed thing.
Mm-hmm.
A greed thing and
anything he doesn't understand, and he doesn't like anybody saying they're smarter than he is.
You know, there was a report they're going to hamper the COVID vaccines for the fall.
Yeah, they're going to say you don't have to have it to go places, and it's already. I used to be able to get COVID test kits. Can't get them anymore. They don't come.
I guess there's a new variant that hit China.
Mm-hmm.
There's a new tough variant coming out of China now. It's got a number. I don't remember where the heck it is. So anyway, we're at 1:30.
Okay. What do we want to read on?
Inspiration. Bring out our inspiration card.
Okay.
What do we need to know for the week?
Okay.
Gene Hall says there's a new variant in the U.S. too. Flip that around, Wheezy Box. He's got an IQ of 37, not 73. What do we need to know? What do we need to know? Oh.
No, got an interesting one.
Okay. I'm getting in our current situation, we need to watch our money.
Mm-hmm.
Four of Ariel, which is 4 of coins. It's basically saying that's watch your money. Keep it close to home. Because the 3 of Michael, which is 3 of swords, the bad situation, the heartbreak will be short-lived.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have new beginnings. Number 20, what is that? The world?
Yeah. 20,
World
it's, no, judgment.
That's the culmination. That's starting into life, finding your purpose. And everything comes better. So I think for a while, we need to make sure how you spend. Budget a little bit. Keep it close. Because we're going to be hitting a little bit of a 3 of Michael. A 3 of swords time. But we will be having a culmination of good things to come.
Mm-hmm. And I got the meandering pathway, and this is from the Sacred Forest Oracle. The spirit of the meandering pathway says, everything falls into place when you don't resist the flow of that meandering pathway of life. Allow the path to take you where you need to go. Don't hurry or resist it. Simply go, surrender, and enjoy the journey. Well, I understand enjoying this journey is tough, but this is really trying to. This is when people keep asking us, "What's going to happen around the next corner? What's going to happen?" We can't help you with that too much. I mean, you think we can because we have cards and things, but we really can't.
Yeah. It's a basic statistic of averages of energy that should or would happen.
So, what do you have coming up this week?
Monday is a holiday.
Oh my God!
Yay.
So
I got off.
Mm-hmm.
Monday night, I'm going to be hanging with, going to do a live with our old friend Sheila. Not Celtic Sheila, the other Sheila.
Mm-hmm.
She restarted her channel, retired from federal work, that Sheila.
Mm-hmm.
She's trying to get back into things. She asked if she wanted to do a live, and I said, oh, sure. So we're going to do that Monday night.
Okay.
Other than that, back to work.
Well,
and then next weekend is busy for me. I got my grandson's birthday party on Monday. Yes, medium Sheila Celtic, thanks. My grandson's birthday party, 1 year old, on Saturday, and then my niece graduates on Sunday.
Cool.
So I think next Sunday we should start the show at 9:30.
Okay. Well, we'll send you all notices, and you can all show up later whenever. That's fine. That's fine.
We're start at 9:30 so I can make sure I get to her graduation party on time.
Oh, okay. And then on I'm going to be taping a show on Tuesday with Andre Carr, who's the astrologer.
Oh, cool.
And he likes to come on my show because we don't talk about politics. And what he's doing is he's setting off on a new journey of trying to relate tarot and astrology. He knows there's some from the Hermetic writings in the turn of the century there's some changes in that, but he's going to anyway, we're going to do that, and we're going to talk about what we talk about. Actually, what we're going to talk about, I mentioned to him, I've been watching a lot of British television, and I've been watching a lot about people looking back at the time when Victoria was queen, which also overlaps with our Civil War. And since everybody's having such a fit about how all our planets are lined up just like they were during the Civil War, we're going to look at how, well, I suggested to him, if we look at the incredible upheaval there was in England, because that's when they went into the urbanization. They took away the rural lands, and they did it in some really cruel ways, guys. They just said, oh, if you own that land and you can make more money raising sheep on it, throw the farmers off. And they did. I mean, I've talked to a lot of people whose family, that's how they ended up in the US or Australia or other places. And so we're going to talk about that period of time, because the people in England were going through their own kind of civil war, but it wasn't like the ones they'd had before where they shot at each other. They just had incredibly different paradigms of what was happening. And some really good things came out of that, and some really hideous things out. Anyway, so we're going to talk about that on Tuesday. I did do my show last Friday on how to build a grid. It's out there for you can watch it. It was very successful. We ended up with 5 beautiful grids. This is one that Scott really liked.
Yeah, Celtic Sheila's. I like that one.
That's Tantric Journey. That's one of the ones, and I actually built this on, I had the crystals all out, and I showed how I line them up and what I do. And there's enough interest I may teach a class in that, because there seemed to be a lot of questions. I mean, in the hour or so we had, it was not enough time to begin to cover how you get through all that stuff. And
yep, grids are cool.
I'm still doing 6-month readings for the end of 2025 from June to December. And I'm doing my traditional regular readings. And so if you're interested in any of that, let me know. You can get it through www.crystaldirections.com.
Yeah. I got myself a grid.
Yep. You got yours a couple of years ago.
Yeah, like 3 years ago, I think already. Maybe
Yeah.
2. Maybe 2.
Yeah, rhodochrosite. She has a lot of rhodochrosites. And they're talking, when we talk about the upheaval, we had a civil war and we had all kinds of disruption, and we had disruption of people going from the land into the cities and creating a new industrial base. And in Britain, they had debtors' prisons and poorhouses and all kinds of stuff they had to create, because all of a sudden they had this incredible shift in their population. And of course, that was also during the Irish potato famine, which is how my particular branch of the family came over here, because they didn't want to starve over there. And they came in through Canada. And so, you know, it's a real interesting concept to look at.
Hi, Dorothy.
Hi, Dorothy. And tomorrow is a new moon. So if you want to go over to Dorothy's website or her channel, she'll tell you all about the new moon that's tomorrow night. And that's tomorrow. And I know, because, yeah, it's new moon on my watch now. It's already here. And anyway, so Gemini moon too. And Dorothy's got some wonderful stuff about how we should be using this time of the Gemini, the moon being in Gemini, the sun being in Gemini, and all this stuff happening in Gemini. Use it as a time to relax and reflect and just enjoy, because it's easier to communicate. And you should feel pressure coming off of you. So that's kind of everything I'm doing. My Tuesday show will not be live. I'm going to tape it with Andre, and then I'll show it again later in the week.
Yeah. New moon. Set your intentions to come true in the full moon.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and Saturn is in Aries now. So something everybody keeps, that's one of the things that they're saying is it went through 0 degrees of Aries. For those of you who don't know the charts well enough, but 0 degrees of Aries is like New Year's. It's like the beginning of the astrologic wheel. So it's a very important time. It has more emphasis on Saturn being at 0 of Taurus or 0 of the other signs. So anyway, it's a fun time to be alive if you want to think about it. And you know what you want to do. And there's lots of stuff to learn out there. We've moved our tarot course to June because everybody went on vacation that was going to take the class. So we decided that rather than Jeffrey and I just sitting there looking at each other, so you can go over to my website at Crystal Directions and see all that stuff. A big blog post. Is that like the big bad budget bill? No.
All right, folks. Thanks for hanging out with us. I hope you have a blessed day.
Okay. Take care. We'll see you next week. Early. We're going to start early. We'll send out notices.
We'll start at 9:30 next Sunday. Bye.
Mm-hmm.